Howdy guys, Tan the Fireman here, coming at you guys with my take on the Colosseum. So guys, if we could set the stage, Varlamore is the largest expansion that this game has ever seen, with an overwhelming amount of positives. The biggest one, in my opinion, being the Colosseum. As someone who logs in and wants to get better every single time I play this game day in and day out, watching the pros do Colosseum time and time again only inspires me to get better, and I'm excited for whenever I can do it myself. And trust me guys, I got a long way to go. But as a whole, the content itself, I think they nailed. Making a piece of the game a skill check as well as something to be fun and repetitively played for a long period of time is always a good sign, especially if you can make good money there, in which you can. And if anyone who has harped on the Colosseum thus far, it's been about how they have made money. Upon release, if someone farmed Wave 1 after Wave 1 for hours on end, you would be making roughly 10 mil an hour, because Wave 1 ensures that you get 100 Sunfire runes. Now, after 4 or 5 days, yeah, the price dropped. But now, since the Colosseum has been open for about a week now, more and more people are getting their quivers, thus the splinters go back up in price, so it's just as profitable. And so the way that they made the Colosseum a moneymaker might not have been the best strategy. However, it did give a reason for at least mid-game players to come to the Colosseum. And for better or for worse, I think that's a W. But enough about the money-making side, let's talk about the content itself. So obviously, we have a bit of a homage to the Inferno regarding how the Colosseum is structured. You have 4 pillars, with the number of enemies increasing every wave until you get to the final boss. Now, if I had any personal critique on that, it's a bit unfortunate that we basically copy and pasted not only the strategy, but the overall experience of this content. Not only that, once the Colosseum was originally announced, there were several mechanics that they hinted at, and the direction that they wanted to go into was pretty set in stone. However, a bit before Varlamore was released, they announced to the community that they went a different direction because the mechanics just were not working in their favor. So that's disappointing, but it is what it is. What I've gathered regarding the invocations have a bit of mixed feelings. I have always been a big fan in implementing more mechanics that I have to do within the content, as opposed to just making it flat out harder. A great example is going to TOA and applying Aerial Assault, where Khepri's auto attacks will do more damage, but its attack range will increase from single tile to 3x3 areas. That's just a small example of slightly critiquing the mechanic in order to make it more difficult. Now, an example I could find from the Colosseum is Quartet, where all they're adding is an extra random Fremennik Warbander to spawn in. And personally, I think there's a lot more things that they could implement to not only make the game more difficult, but to make those invocations stand out more. Regardless if they objectively make the content more difficult, I at least want to be intrigued by them. For instance, I was a huge fan of Volatility. More times than not, whenever I turn on Volatility, I often pay too much attention to who I'm safe spotting, and I just completely forget about having to get out of the way while still maintaining the safe spot. Just looking at these invocations, I'm starting to think that Jagex has just now started to scratch the surface of how difficult and how complex mechanics can be in this game, which is a bit bittersweet if I'm being honest with you. Yes, this content is a ton of fun, but I enjoy this game too much to not admit where I feel that they're lacking. Do I think the content's hard? Obviously. I haven't killed Soul Heredit yet. I haven't even seen him yet. Do I think it's fun? Immensely. I cannot stress out enough. But is it perfect? I wouldn't necessarily say so. But who knows? Maybe I'm just yapping to yap. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. If you guys want to see more old school RuneScape content, please drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, y'all.